In a world divided between reason and faith, between the chaos of the mind and the cry of the soul, one man dared to look directly into the abyss of the human condition. While others sought easy answers, he taught us that the true meaning of life is not found in certainty but in the struggle, in guilt, in suffering, and in redemption. He was a condemned man, a visionary, a genius tormented by his own demons, but he was also a beacon for generations searching for meaning amidst the darkness. His words still strike us like a lightning bolt in the middle of a storm, raw, human, eternal. Today we will dive into the soul of Fyodor Dostoevsky, the writer who not only narrated human suffering, but understood it, lived it, and through it, glimpsed the deep meaning of our existence. Stay with me until the end and let's unravel the mystery together. Born in Moscow in 1821, Fyodor Dostoevsky grew up in a strict yet intellectual middle-class family. From an early age, he was drawn to literature and philosophy, fascinated by the struggles of the human spirit. Though he enrolled in a military engineering academy, his passion for writing was too strong to ignore. At just 25, he published his first novel, Poor Folk, to great success. Critics hailed him as a new literary genius, a voice for the oppressed. But the success was short-lived. In 1849, Dostoevsky's life took a dramatic turn when he was arrested for participating in a discussion group deemed subversive by the authorities. He was sentenced to death. Blindfolded, standing before a firing squad, he awaited the final moment. Then, at the very last second, a messenger arrived. His sentence had been commuted. Instead of execution, he was sent to Siberia for 4 years of forced labor, followed by military service. The experience broke him physically, but strengthened him spiritually. The man who returned was not the same. He had stared into the abyss of suffering and emerged with a new vision of humanity. From that moment on, Dostoevsky's writing became something more. No longer mere storytelling, it became a desperate search for truth, an unflinching confrontation with the contradictions of existence. His greatest works, Notes from Underground, Crime and Punishment, and the Brothers Karamazov, are not just works of fiction. They are profound meditations on free will, morality, suffering, and redemption. In Notes from Underground, Dostoevsky introduces one of literature's most unsettling and fascinating characters. The underground man is isolated and bitter, filled with self-loathing and a deep contempt for the world around him. His thoughts are erratic, his behavior unpredictable, and his very existence a contradiction. He is deeply introspective and at the same time terribly self-destructive, trapped in an endless cycle of analyzing his own misery while actively making it worse. Instead of offering a conventional protagonist, Dostoevsky creates a character who embodies the raw, unfiltered chaos of the human psyche. The very nature of the underground man challenges the idea that humans are logical beings who always seek their own good. He is not simply a victim of circumstance, but someone who embraces suffering voluntarily, choosing pain over comfort, disorder over stability. He refuses to conform to social expectations, not because he is a revolutionary, but because he is addicted to his own misery. His actions are not driven by reason, but by a near-compulsive need to assert his independence, no matter the cost. He argues that true freedom does not come from acting rationally, but from proving, again and again, that one can defy rationality entirely. Through The Underground Man, Dostoevsky makes a bold philosophical statement. Human nature is not based on logic or self-interest, but on contradiction, chaos, and self-destruction. We are not rational beings who always make decisions that benefit us. Rather, we are impulsive creatures, capable of deliberately sabotaging our own happiness just to prove we have the power to do so. This idea radically opposes the Enlightenment belief in human progress and rationality. The Underground Man exposes the uncomfortable truth that at our core we are inconsistent and sometimes even destructive to ourselves, simply because we can be. But this realization is not despair, it is liberation. The Underground Man teaches us that true freedom comes from embracing our contradictions, from rejecting the artificial order that society imposes on us. The meaning of life is not found in perfection, but in accepting the chaos within us. Then comes Crime and Punishment, one of the greatest psychological novels ever written. At its core is Raskolnikov, a young man who believes he is destined for greatness. To prove his theory, he commits a murder, convinced that extraordinary people have the right to break the rules. But instead of feeling powerful, he is consumed by guilt. Trapped in a psychological prison of his own making, Dostoevsky forces us to confront a painful, inescapable truth. No crime goes unpunished, not because of external laws or systems of justice, but because the human conscience is relentless. Even if legal systems fail and society overlooks wrongdoing, the psychological burden of guilt cannot be escaped. The mind becomes its own judge, jury, and executioner, ensuring that even if someone escapes outer consequences, they cannot escape themselves. This idea challenges the notion that punishment is something imposed from the outside. In reality, it arises from within and shapes a person's existence in ways they cannot control. This theme is clearly manifested in the character of Raskolnikov in Crime and Punishment. His suffering does not come from the fear of being caught by the authorities, but from the unbearable weight of his own conscience. He believes he can transcend moral boundaries, justifying his crime with intellectual reasoning, but soon realizes that his mind is not as cold and detached as he imagined. The act of murder does not liberate him, it traps him. Every thought he has is poisoned by the awareness of what he has done, and instead of feeling powerful, he is consumed by paranoia, anxiety, and a growing despair. Dostoevsky masterfully explores the idea that guilt is not just an emotion, but a force that erodes the soul from within. No matter how much Raskolnikov tries to rationalize his actions, he cannot silence the inner torment that haunts him. His punishment is not dictated by the state, but by his own fractured psyche. The novel suggests that true justice does not always come from courts or prisons. It is woven into the very essence of human nature. In the end, the true prison is not made of walls and bars, but of the mind itself, which turns against the guilty and makes escape impossible. True redemption, Dostoevsky argues, does not come from power or intelligence. It arises from humility, from acknowledging our flaws and seeking connection with others. The meaning of life is not found in proving our superiority, but in accepting our shared humanity. Finally, we come to the Brothers Karamazov, a novel that delves even deeper into the human soul. It tells the story of three brothers, each representing a different aspect of human nature. Dmitri is passion, impulsive, emotional, and ruled by desire. Ivan is reason, a cold intellectual who questions everything, even the existence of God. Alyosha is faith, pure, compassionate, seeking goodness in a broken world. And then there's Smerdyakov, the hidden fourth brother, resentful, manipulative, the embodiment of nihilism. Through their struggles, Dostoevsky explores profound philosophical questions. Can faith and reason coexist? Is morality possible without God? Do our choices truly matter? The novel refuses to offer easy answers, reflecting the complexity of life itself. Just as reality is full of uncertainty, moral dilemmas, and contradictions, the story resists the temptation to simplify human nature into clear categories of good and evil. Instead of presenting a singular truth, Dostoevsky introduces us to a world where ambiguity reigns, where every decision has unforeseen consequences, and where self-knowledge is a lifelong struggle. This lack of resolution is not a flaw, but a reflection of the human experience. Life doesn't give us neatly packaged lessons. It gives us challenges that force us to confront our beliefs, emotions, and limitations. Yet within this uncertainty, the novel reveals something profound. The meaning of life is not found in a single definitive answer, but in the process of navigating its contradictions. It's not about reaching a fixed destination where clarity and purpose are finally achieved, but about constantly balancing the opposing forces within us. Passion propels us forward, but without restraint it can lead to destruction. Reason provides structure, but without flexibility it can turn cold and oppressive. Faith offers hope, but when pushed to extremes it can blind us to reality. Alone, none of these elements can form a complete foundation for a meaningful life. Fulfillment arises from learning to integrate them, finding balance within the tension between them, without being overwhelmed by any one force. Dostoevsky suggests that contradictions are not flaws to eliminate, but vital aspects of being human. We are not meant to be purely rational beings, nor creatures driven solely by emotion, nor blind followers of faith. Instead, we are meant to grapple with these forces, recognize our inconsistencies, and grow through that struggle. The pursuit of meaning is not about eliminating doubt or achieving perfection, but embracing the complexity of our nature. From this perspective, fulfillment is not a final destination, but a continuous process. shaped by our willingness to confront, accept, and balance the opposing forces within us. What can we learn from Dostoevsky today? His works are not just relics of the past, but living reflections of the human condition. They don't offer distant or abstract lessons. They act as mirrors, compelling us to confront our own inner chaos. His deeply flawed and tormented characters reflect our own contradictions and vulnerabilities. In their struggles, we see our own battles with doubt, guilt, and the search for purpose. Dostoevsky doesn't merely discuss human nature. He immerses us in it, making us feel the weight of our own fears, desires, and moral dilemmas. His works remind us that suffering, though painful, is not without meaning. In a world that often seeks to avoid discomfort at all costs, Dostoevsky presents suffering as an inevitable, even necessary part of life. His characters endure immense challenges, but these struggles are not in vain. They lead to self-discovery, transformation, and, at times, redemption. He challenges the modern view of suffering as something to be avoided or numbed, suggesting instead that it can be a crucible for growth. Through pain, we are forced to confront who we truly are, shedding illusions and forging a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. Dostoevsky also teaches us that redemption is always possible, no matter how lost we may feel. His stories do not deny the darkness within humanity, but insist that even the most broken individuals can find a way forward. This redemption is not easily attained. It requires deep self-reflection, humility, and often great suffering, but it is available to those who seek it. In this way, Dostoevsky's message is one of hope. The search for meaning is not about discovering a final, perfect answer, but about embracing the journey itself. Life is a continuous process of struggle, discovery, and transformation. Meaning is not something given to us, but something we create through our choices, resilience, and willingness to confront the truth. Dostoevsky's ideas have influenced some of history's greatest thinkers, from Nietzsche to Sartre. His words remain as powerful today as they were in his time. He doesn't offer easy solutions. Instead, he gives us the courage to face life's toughest questions head-on. As he once wrote, "Man is a mystery. It needs to be unraveled, and if you spend your whole life unraveling it, don't say you've wasted your time." The meaning of life is not a fixed answer, but a journey of struggle, self-discovery, and acceptance of contradictions. Dostoevsky's works reveal that suffering is not futile. It's a path to growth. Redemption is always possible through humility and reflection, and true fulfillment arises from balancing passion, reason, and faith. Ultimately, the search for meaning is not about finding certainty, but about embracing the complexity of human nature and the ongoing process of transformation. If this video resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to keep exploring profound ideas that challenge your view of the world, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your journey doesn't end here, it's only just beginning.